Still on level terms, moving the ball nicely. Splendid defending, and it needed to be. They're trying to get right into his face. They don't normally need a second invitation to give it a go on the counter. Can they take the lead? And a goal it is, the opener in this game.
Well, keep it tight, that's what both managers would have been saying. But now the opening goal's gone in. Tactics have got to change. Well, look at this. Don't you just love counter-attack football? Absolutely brilliant. One key ingredient, pace. And they've got it in abundance. What they do to that defence from then on is absolutely brilliant. Well, he's got to be delighted with his players. A big smile on his face. They've got the noses in front. They're in the lead. Well done.
1-0 then. It's with Saul. An important interception. Great opportunity. Absolutely magnificent goalkeeping.
Oh, he's almost turning away. He thinks he's scored. The goalkeeper doesn't.
It hasn't come to very much. Excellent challenge. Decent acreage for Real Madrid to run into. Electing to cross into the centre. You can see he was feeling the pressure, but gave it a go anyway. Not close though.
Well, it was definitely worth the chance. Just got the technique a little bit off.
Bennett. Slipshod passing. Making excellent progress with the ball at his feet. Is this the moment? Can they put it away? And the keeper has custody of the ball, but just a few seconds beforehand, he had a big save to make.
Well, keep hold of it. Have a breather, because that first save deserves us all to look at him and clap.
Aarons. What a shocking pass, really. Can they get in behind them? In the opinion of the referee, that is a penalty. Well, that could be his final rebuke, I think, and the referee's making that absolutely clear.
Well, I like that, Derek. Good refereeing. Nice and strong. Told the player exactly what he was thinking.
A goal it is. A confidently taken penalty.
We'll see it again here, Derek. Looks easy, doesn't it? I can tell you it isn't. I'm telling you now.
Well, a second goal for them here. Not a foul, but the advantage with Real Madrid. Working away patiently, looking for an opening. Espinosa. Couldn't keep it. Is it going to end up being productive for them? I must say, no shortage of space. Must score! And he got to it fairly easily. He continues his run. Espinosa. And options in the centre. And the post coming to the goalkeeper's aid. Well, just couldn't keep himself onside. Substitution time it is. We've been waiting to find out. Now we know a minimum of 3 added minutes here. Well, they get high marks for that move, but they couldn't make it count. Roberts. Possession lost. And the first half is in the history books here at the Bernabeu. Not to be too blunt about it, but this has been a struggle for him up front, Lee.
Well, if they are going to get back into this game, he needs to up his work rate, his endeavour, his creativity, his shots at goal, the full works.
And so they kick off the second half in this Champions League quarter-final first leg.
Hey, Tom.
Well, great read there to intercept. Havertz. Oh, he's through here. Very quick thinking there.
Oh, good stop.
Delightful pass. It's opening up
Oh,
for them.
on the other lap.
Real chance. His
Oh,
own, but
nearly.
only the keeper to beat, and still he's missed it.
Well, he had one thought, power. He should have thought composure.
I thought it was a good grand final. The thought was,
Goretzka.
had Bulldogs won the controversial
That's a lovely
non-goal
ball. Vinicius Junior.
as
He
well.
gets it back. Well, the keeper is happy the bar was there.
Couple controversial decisions, the non-mark to Stephen May that should have been paid,
Well,
the
Real
Gorn
Madrid are
goal
going to
that
make
should
the
have been
change now.
allowed. So I think the right team won. But Bulldogs are not guaranteed to get back
Roberts.
up there next year anyway.
Well, visionary passing. Is this the moment? Priority was to hang on to the
And-
ball, which he did.
I think
Well,
when I
Derek,
do the
all
review
departments
for
of
the
this team have been off
Bulldogs,
today. Very rarely happens when everybody's poor. That's what the fans are reacting to. They should ask for a refund.
I think
Vinicius
it's.
Junior couldn't keep the ball.
I think there's a lot of question marks than
And they trouble
anything.
the opposition this
I
time.
think.
A really committed challenge, and it's gone out for a throw-in. Space and time for the cross. A very effective clearance.
Not much shows over, so.
O'Connor.
But yeah, I'm happy for Melbourne.
Havertz. Goretzka. Espinosa. Aarons. Tremendous intuition to win it back.
But yeah, it was a really good granny.
Well, the pass not finding its target. Far from a good pass.
I'm going okay. Struggling to lock down, but I'm going
Showing
okay.
fine vision. And offside is the decision. It must have been very closely.
What about
Yeah,
yourself?
the linesman's got the best view of them all. I think he got that right.
That's
O'Connor.
good.
Oh, a lovely ball. Well, it was pretty straightforward.
What do you think
for
of the grand
goalkeeper.
final? Obviously,
Over the touchline for a throw.
you know, I was backing for Melbourne, want them to win.
What a shocking pass, really. Well, it's come down to the final 20 minutes here. This might have potential. And very deftly cut out.
he's a star. Every time they like they had a good
throw-in.
year, they tend to drop off for a couple of years. So even when they lost the grand final in 2008, it does take them a couple of years. You hope they keep that consistency, but I think it's so difficult to try and be up there because now that they've witnessed this, they're gonna have a late pre-season, and we don't know how they're gonna act to that as well.
Well, his reflexes there, absolutely spot on. That's why they work so hard in training goalkeepers to pull saves off like that.
Melbourne did what Bulldogs couldn't do,
It came to nothing.
and that was wrong.
Goretzka, Vinicius Junior.
Yeah, I think.
And slipped through beautifully. Oh, that's an awful finish, and the goalkeeper could do nothing but hang on to it.
Easy save for the keeper. Absolutely terrible finishing from the attacker.
Yeah, well,
technically
that's what it is. You know,
is with Vinicius Junior. Havertz. Only 10 minutes remaining here.
So we'll do the Bulldogs and Melbourne season review. That's going to be coming out.
And it's gone out for a throw in to Real Madrid.
And I will be doing, well, obviously going through my season predictions for the start of the year. Even pre-season, because
slipshod passing.
Yeah,
Can they do
should
something
be really
positive on the counter
good.
attack? Well, it fizzled out.
Nah, that's good, man.
Vinicius Junior.
I probably might have to have a shower myself.
Havertz. And with the goalkeeper. Roberts. Plenty of running room in the wide position. Can he put it away? Well, body in the way. And he's fine over the corner. The end product just wasn't there. Firing it towards goal. Whatever it takes to keep them out. And now the delivery. Very good reading of the game to win possession back. And the referee blows his whistle. That is the end of the contest. And a fine result for the away fans. And if they can repeat this sort of performance on home soil, then they will surely be going through.
Yes, Derek, they have an advantage, but it's only a small one. There's not much between the two teams. Really good game of football. I'm really looking forward.
It's with Vinicius Junior. What? He's going to be annoyed with himself given the position he was in, Lee.
Well, yeah, they worked it really well, didn't he? He's got in a position to score.
And just a whisker away with that effort.
Well, he chose his instep. Good technique, just wide.
goal it is, the opener in this game.
Well, keep it tight, that's what both managers would have been saying. But now the opening...
Absolutely magnificent goalkeeping.
Oh, he's almost turning away. He thinks he scored. The goalkeeper doesn't.
Oh, you could see he was feeling the pressure, but gave it a go anyway. Not close, though.
Well, it was definitely worth the chance. Just got...
Muchas gracias por su tiempo y por sus respuestas a las siguientes preguntas.
There we go. Okay. G'day Cody, how are you? You're welcome, Joe. Save your stuff. Well, if you keep being active on my streams and subscribe, I'll give you mod. I'm just handing out for no reason. That's all, man. If you can't, then try and get in for most of it. What did I think of the grand final Optus? Yeah, I thought it was good. Alright, sweet, man. I think, I don't know about you guys, but I think the grand final was good in Perth. Wish it was in Melbourne so Melbourne fans can witness that. Yeah, I 100% agree.
Start with the questions now.
Yeah, I can see it on my screen. I will be watching. On what happens with the trade period. So if there's any results, I'll talk about it when I can. About 9, 10. Oh, for sure. Also, don't forget to share this to your friends, family as well. Don't often stream on YouTube that much, but I'll try.
That's all we have time for today. Thank you for coming.
Yes, I do. Cavs Magpies. I've heard rumors that he's gone. I'll check that out. I hope you don't mind. Spelled your name wrong. Is it Cody.2011? Okay. Senior. So what's the rumors I'm hearing? Or maybe you guys can tell me. What's the rumors that I'm hearing that with SPS, like he's picked Carlton, West Coast Go. So what's the deal? How the deal's gonna get done? Well, now that I've seen you active on Cardi's stream, so. Oh, okay. Because Cox, I heard he might be staying, and so is Brainstorm, which I think we just get rid of him, to be honest. I don't think that we need him. Like, I love Coxie as well. Okay. Because I'm hearing that Cox.
It's a game really we don't have to sell for you. It's got such a fascinating history. We could have sold the stadium out, what, 5-6 times over, I reckon. What a match. And it's live.
Please make yourself known to the nearest steward. Thank you.
What a perfect day for football we've got here. Martin Tyler here along with Alan Smith. The action is league football today. Really looking forward to what's going to unfold here, Alan.
Yeah, thanks, Martin. Looking forward to this. I'm hoping for a nice, quick start that will set the standard here between two good teams.
Does he want to cross it now? He could.
I'm playing FIFA,
Loses
mate.
possession. Now you've got your chance to check on the lineup for the home team. We've got it down as a 4-3-3.
Yeah, it's a system that the Netherlands used to use all the time. I think really they invented it, and plenty of countries have adopted it since. If it works, it's really tough to
I
handle.
just had random people.
Have a look now at
Okay,
the
so you
lineup
play on
for the
PS4.
visiting team. Well, we think, Alan, it'll be a 4-5-1 formation, which can look a bit negative.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
just
look at
trying
the
to add
players
random
in
people.
That five, that midfield five.
This could be
Complete
a
strangers.
chance.
As
Goal,
I
they've
scored
taken
that
the lead
one.
here.
Just good.
They go in front with this very slick attack. And however the opposition sets up against them, they have the power to break them down. It's really exciting, it's really entertaining. And as you've seen, yet again, it's really effective.
It's been tight before that goal, but now the manager.
Yeah,
so
I know,
pleased
boys.
because
I don't know
feels
him
his team could
personally,
go on and
but
win this.
I've checked out his channel, I
opened the
subscribed to
scoring,
his
1-0
channel, but
here.
yeah. I actually feel sorry for him in a way.
Well, confirmation, as if it's needed, really. Everyone knows now, don't they, that the league title has been decided. The match will be played. The big event of the day, Alan's going to be the presentation.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've seen so many performances that got them to the top of the table. We might not quite see the intensity of those previous displays, but I think you can forgive them for that.
In front of goal, brilliant defending. It saved a certain goal.
Oh, yeah. The big one there.
Was almost wheeling away to celebrate there.
That's great determination. He's not giving up and he's got the ball back. Got the ball and they're going at the opposition with speed.
See you,
Still
mate.
going towards goal quickly. It's a good ball, they could be in. That's offside. And the referees acknowledge that fact. Murphy. He has made the headlines this week, hasn't he, leading up to the game. He has announced officially now that this is his last season.
Yeah, I think he would have thought long and hard about it. I thought maybe he had another 12 months or so at the top. But no, he's decided, and only he knows when the time is right.
Sloppy work, really. Spaced across the ball now. Find some space here on the flanks. Getting the ball back and thinking attack straight away. Well, plenty of speed, but not much organisation. And the ball lost at a crucial time. Good reading of by anticipating the pass. Trying to stretch the opposition, using the wider areas here.
Reminder that the reserves are in action tomorrow. If you'd like more ticket details, have a look.
In with a chance. Well, he's hit it hard. Too hard, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think
Could
he's
be
playing with
by
as much confidence as
accident.
he would like at the moment.
Try not to press anything in your pocket or something.
He's got possession back for his team. Slipping it through.
It's by accident, it's okay.
Men in there to try to convert this cross. Break quickly when they get possession. Frustrating for them, really. That was the opportunity to play on the break, but it's broken down. Steered through. Well, that's straightforward for the goalkeeper. He's gone too early. He's offside.
Oh, cool, man.
Played down the wing, keeping the wide attack going. Now Wilson.
Yeah, I got that game out week
nicely
ago.
and productively here. He's read that, hasn't he? And made the interception.
I just got to work out the shooting difference.
Cut out the pass. Cleverly done. Letting the shot go. Superb save.
He shouldn't have had a chance at all with that. Oh, what about those reflexes? Brilliant.
Put the corner in the middle. No threat now. He's gone forward.
See you, mate.
And it nearly paid off.
Yeah,
It's good
really
to have you back.
there. Known for that kind of volley.
Oh. Coming. Apologize for that burp. Can't see you anymore, friends.
Taking on the defenders. He's way off target.
Well, they're still very much in this game, and they'll end up kicking themselves if they do lose it, because normally they do create more chances than this.
Patiently passing the ball. Oh, he's through. Intercepted well. Goalkeeper is there for him, and he's played it to him. He was able to go in and make the challenge and make it a good one. Referee has blown, and he's given the free kick.
Well, he can't go for goal, but it is a dangerous situation, this, because if he gets it on the money, it's going to be hard to defend against.
Please like the stream if you haven't, please. Much appreciated, mods. Thank you.
Well, now they've
Do
got the
your
ball,
job.
What are they going to do with it? And the added time will amount to 3 minutes at least.
3 minutes of added time.
That's the way to win the ball back. So it's
Jeez,
really in
man.
the clear now, in on goal.
Oh, I'm
Now he's
lucky.
taken it off his
I'm
toes and
so
hung on to it.
lucky.
Yeah, no.
Well, the referee has signalled for half-time, and it's 1-0 here. Well, the player that we're featuring here has done well. He's certainly been an influence on this first half.
Yeah, I thought he looked lively in that first half. Really sharp, and obviously got the goal. Another 45 of that.
126 subscribers. I'll check how many likes. 3 in the chat. And 3 likes. Sweet.
This could be a chance. Goal, they've taken the lead here. They go in front with this very slick attack. In with a chance. Well, he's hit it hard. Too hard, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing with as much confidence as he would like at the moment.
Cleverly done. Letting the shot go. Superb save.
He shouldn't have had a chance at all with that. But oh, what about those reflexes?
No threat. The second half is off and underway. Now Wilson. Trying to pick out someone in the centre. Hasn't held it, the goalkeeper. Nice return pass.
Gaming all night with my homies, it was by accident.
And that is quite a
It
wild
wasn't me
effort
that
goal,
did it.
although he got good
Just
contact
relax
on the
for a
ball.
bit. That's good job. No, you won't. Probably not, Sammy, to be honest.
He might be through. Well, they're waltzing through again. So much attacking confidence. Another goal. They're 2 up now. All the prospects here are of more goals to come. They're the most exciting team that you could ever wish to watch, and they never really disappoint you. They make chances, but most importantly, they take their chances. Their efficiency in front of goal is phenomenal.
If it does keep happening, might have to take them all away.
Just widen the margin here to 2-0. The pass not completed, really. He's got some room out there. Maybe the cross. He's won it back easily. Really trying to use the full width of the pitch here to make some progress. Can't keep the ball at the moment. Substitute coming up for the away team. Saw the direction of the pass. Lovely ball. Obviously thought he really got a connect there, and he did, but maybe it just put his aim off.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of contact maybe from the defender, but you would have expected him to score from there.
Here's Taylor. We've reached the hour mark. Half an hour to go.
Alright, we'll do. Hey mate, what's up? Hey man, how are you?
It's O'Connor. His teammates have recognised the potential of this attack. We've got a corner here, that could pose some problems. What a good player we knew he was before the game started. He's just emphasised that in this performance.
Well, the defence knew all about him beforehand, but they really haven't got tight enough, and as a result, he's been working the keeper, and he's got on the score sheet, hasn't he, a few times.
He made that look like a poor pass with a very good interception. quite happy to let them have the ball with this lead. They don't think it's really being threatened. The passing's in front of them.
Here we go.
Well, no one's picking him up in the wide area. This could be dangerous. To Bennett. Surely. Wonderful goal. 3 of the best.
What
He's
a
made the
goal,
play.
huh?
And that completes a wonderful hat-trick. What a day he's having. 3 goals now.
He's been a thorn in the side. Well, just what he was asking for.
I don't think we expected this. Such a one-sided affair, but look at the scoreline. And he went, just diverted it away.
Oh, here we go.
Excellent attack.
Yeah, that's better. I can hear you now.
That's alright.
That's hit the bar and it's still in.
Yeah, I had to take away Judd's mod because he timed out someone for no
Yep.
reason.
Danger for the goal has gone with that.
So am I in your live stream as well, or am I silent?
I got you on the PS4, but I can get, if you wanted to, I can send it to you through the PS app. Whether it's easier.
What, to play FIFA, is it?
Yeah. I can do it.
I don't even have FIFA.
No, but you know how... Okay, so you can do party chats through the phone or the app, if you got on the phone or iPad. Or you
Yep.
can do it through the PlayStation 4. But if I do it through the, we call it through my phone, well, at least that way they can't really hear your voice.
Oh, I mean, I'm not fussed either way. I just wanted to know if I was or not.
That's alright. So, how was work?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Pretty laid back. Yeah, they didn't need me too much today, so kind of had a bit of an early one, but that's just how things go.
Oh, that's it.
I mean, I'm just glad that I'm able to work in general, but yeah, because I'm considered as essential and stuff. I'm a lot more luckier than others, I guess.
Yeah, I know, I'm lucky as well.
They really are on top now, stretching the lead, looking like the real winners of this match.
Yeah, but yeah. So just to clarify, people can hear me in the stream, or am I muted?
Can you guys hear Ultimate Greatness through the stream, or is he muted? Either way, I don't think it matters too much.
Yeah, I don't, but I just want to know, just in case if I say something, I want to know if people can hear me. That's all.
Trying to make some sort of mark in a game that they're being dominated in. So players limbering up for the away team, substitution in the offing.
Alright, Tom, can you sweet? Oh, trade periods on Friday.
Oh, okay. All good.
So who should we get done first? Lipinski or Kruger?
Well, just over 84 minutes gone, 6 minutes left on my watch. Steered through.
That's a tough one because you probably want Kruger done first because that's our most. We're more desperate for a key forward than a speedy wingman, I guess, basically. So you'd probably want to get Kruger done, but I feel like Lipinski's a more of a. Oh, but then again, they're probably about equal in terms of done deals, I guess.
Shouldn't cost that much, I don't think.
Nah, it'll be. I reckon we might be able to get Lipinski for a future third, and then at that point, I think we'll probably get Kruger for a future fourth. And then I guess go from there. And in saying that, it shouldn't affect our current draft value. And then, yeah, we got to find homes for even though I think we spoke about it yesterday with Sia wanting to stay, but we need to piss him off.
100%. Like, it
at
seems
this
like he
point, it's
doesn't
just,
care now.
oh mate, but that's the thing. That's been his issue since the start. Like, I don't know if you've like seen footage at him at the club and stuff, but like, there's footage at him where he just, and mind you, I'm not, in that age bracket, so I'm not necessarily down with the kids and shit. But like, he dresses like an Eshe, and he's like what 25 or something. So
Yeah, I've seen that on Insta.
yeah, it's just like at this point, it was cute at first, and it was fine because that was him. But at this point, because he's just umming and ahhing now, it's just like, mate, like, at this point, I'd rather cop whatever we get, because even though he could be a good player, but like, I don't know, it's just gotten to the point where he's just too far gone at this point, and it's just, I'd rather get rid of him for, if we get a 3rd round pick, that would be about right. I'd be happy to get rid of him for a 3rd round.
Oh fuck yeah!
But that's the
I
thing,
think the
like,
same thing.
But that's the thing. Who's going to take him for a 3rd round? Because, who's going to take him for a 3rd round?
Oh, I 100% agree, Tom. Sorry, he's lazy.
Yeah, it's his attitude. It's like he's. I don't want to get too like, what's the word? I don't want to be too aggressive on him because we don't know how he is as a person. But like, at the same time, it's just like he's been given so many opportunities, and yeah, you can say the Bucks have been a bit sort of like hard on him, but he's just like, like. Because he's in that bracket where, at the moment he's too good for the VFL, but he's not good enough for the AFL. And I think he's here in 2018 where he was killing it.
Oh, fuck yeah.
More and more, it just seems like that's the exception to the rule now. Where that was just that one-off good year, and the rest he's just been trying to find his feet. I think another club will get value out of him if he does go somewhere else, but at this point, it sounds so mean and so aggressive, but I just hate his face. I just don't want to see him. Like, if I believe Essendon were keen on him in 2019, so if they're still keen, I mean, I'm happy to take Essendon's 3rd round, but then again, I'm sure they'll be able to.
Tom said like Adelaide would take him, but he doesn't have like much currency, so maybe a 3rd round pick. Shout out to Judge AFL stuff as well. Yeah, I don't know, like, he just frustrates me as a player because when he got injured, and it's fun to stir him up about that, and like I've asked him, how did you go? Did you go really well? He goes, no, it didn't go well at all. But to get injured while playing basketball while you recover, it's just stupid. It really is. It just costs you another month or so on the sidelines, and it takes longer to recovery. And it's like Charlie Kerno, the exact same thing. Like, why would you do shit like that for no reason? There's no need for it. It just pisses me off to the point where surely you gotta say, nah, you're not doing this. But hopefully with Craig McRae, that he might actually tell him to pull your head in and actually start performing, and that way we can finally get some sense knocked into him, because he needs it. He really does.
Yeah, because because it is one of those things where I'm sure when it comes to, I guess quote-unquote characters in the game, we're not like obviously, saying that you can't be a character, because, we need people like that just for, entertainment purposes, watching AFL and things like that, that's what makes AFL so much better. But it comes to a point where you gotta, regardless on what you do, you gotta pull your weight, and if that means pulling your weight at, you know, being the best player on the ground or just doing a small role for the team, you've got to do it at some point, or like you've got to feel that you got to feel that weight in some way.
Oh fuck yeah!
And yeah, Sears just not doing it. And yeah, I'd rather, yeah, at this point, yeah, if someone's going to give me a third round for Sear, I'm taking it in a heartbeat, because anything, and to be honest, I'd probably take even a fourth round at this point, because yeah, it's yeah, he's just, as much as I don't want to be hanging like shit on players, but like it's just getting to the point where it's just like, where are we going to, you know, it's all fun and games when, like, I guess the Joker, like the guy that is the Joker at the club, it's all fun and games when things are going alright, but when things like need to get serious, sometimes like someone like that is like, you know, can be a bit sort of like, it can just be a massive turn off.
Well, yeah, and I think he's in that age bracket where he should be shining by now. He should be taking the opportunity by the scruff of the neck, and I thought he did that in 2018. Like, I literally thought he did.
Yep.
But since then, like, he hasn't really shined enough, and he's been in and out of the team. Robert Harvey's, you know, hasn't played him as much. Been playing the kids. It's just,
you could potentially create, I guess, the argument or conversation of, you know, that it could potentially be the fact that for Sia, in terms of how he's been, his downfalls are not necessarily all of his fault, but to say that he has nothing to be blamed for, I think is also misleading as well too, because one of Sia's problems is himself, but then also as well there are also other things at play, like Buckley and things like that too, to where, you know, Buckley should, like, which is, I guess, to be fair, one of the reasons why, you know, Fly will be so amazing for Collingwood, because of just the fact that, I don't know how many people know this, but he was actually a primary school teacher. When he retired from footy, he actually became a school teacher for, what was it, 2 years, I think it was?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so like, yeah, at this point, I mean, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I feel all the guys that we have at this point, all the players we have at this point, you know, in terms of like our list and like how young it is, I think we've practically got that right. We'll get Dacos and Div in the draft, and but yeah, obviously if we get all those guys and all the guys we're going to get through trade, there are going to have to be some people that are going to have to go, whether they get delisted or we trade them off to other teams.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting, but yeah. Actually, Tom mentioned about
Max Lynch.
Max Lynch.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to ask you that. Like, what is your thoughts? Because the poor bastard, I thought he played pretty good against Melbourne with Max scoring.
Yeah.
And then
So Max is probably the opposite of what I think of Sia. Is that where Sia is like that, you know, sort of like, I hate his face, I want him out of my club like ASAP. Where Lynch is the type where it's like, oh, poor bastard, you know, like, why can't we give him a go? So yeah, it's really ironic how just the opposites of like of opinion there, but yeah.
Because
like
Hawthorn were interested. Yeah. I'm pretty sure from memory.
Yeah, there was a team that was interested. That's the thing though, like, you don't know how interested they are though. You know, because push comes to shove, are they that interested to where they'd give up a second round? They could, but I would think that when they're thinking to get Lynch, they're thinking, you know, third or fourth round.
Yeah.
And to me, anything like a third round, if push comes to shove, maybe I would accept it. But I'm definitely not letting him go for a fourth round.
No.
Because one of the things I would do with him personally, and I don't know if Fly will obviously do this. If you watch his Max Lynch's highlights when he got drafted, because we picked him, I think we originally picked him in the rookie draft memory. And he's got highlights that are on the Collingwood website if people want to see it and stuff. But he has highlights of him going forward and back. And personally, like when you watch him when he's like playing and you see his highlights in defence, he kind of looks like he could play a lot. He looks like he can play a bit like Jordan
Roughhead
a little bit. Yeah, and he's what 202 centimeters, so. If he's that sort of like, you know, like solid player where, you know, someone like a Darcy's more athletic and Roughhead's more that solid type of defender. So if he kind of like similar, this is going back 10 years ago, but kind of in a way where, you know, how Presty used to play, like Presty was that solid player that, you know, wouldn't get pushed out of a contest, things like that.
Yeah.
So I could see him being like a Jordan Roughhead, and you know at the moment we need someone to replace Roughhead, and we also need not to replace Moore, but we need someone that can cover for Moore when Moore gets injured. So personally, even though this might be spoiling a video that I'm making, I just have to edit it out. But I could really see us just going to Lynch and just being like, all right, we're just going to be flat out honest. Chances are you definitely won't be getting a game over Grundy, but if you want to stay in this club, we can find you a role at full back. Would you want to take Roughhead's role so if he either goes down or is out of form, or when he retires, you can fully take over? I feel like that's a spot where if he's willing to do it, that's a spot where he could probably take. And yeah, Ruffy's only got, like, I think he's what, 30, 31, so he's only got 2 years left. And then by then, I think Lynch is, from memory, 24 years old. So by then he'll be 26, ready to go.
People are saying they would rather have Lynch in the starting position over Grundy. Yeah, I've heard that chat going around as well.
It's only because of how good Lynch played. And as much as we want to praise Lynch, we do have to take into consideration, even though it was a fantastic game he played, it was one game he played. So will he be having that output the whole entire season? Possibly, but it's, you know, it's one of those things where if you build yourself up for one game, you can look a little bit better than, say, someone that's played out a whole season.
Yeah, I definitely think, like, he can be, like, if Grundy goes down next year, I reckon you could put either Cameron or Lynch in the ruck, personally, and that way, when they come back, at least there might be a spot for me in defence or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think the problem was he couldn't run out a VFL game. That's what I was hearing.
What, with Lynch?
Yeah, like he couldn't run out an AFL game. He needed to work on his tank and all the rest. So I think that's why he was been playing VFL for most of it, because he can't even run out a game of footy. But that game against Brisbane Lions last year, well, he didn't play that well. He played like a pass mark sort of type thing, but they only gave him like that one game. Like, they did not really probably give him a bit of a fair go, if you can say that.
I don't know, it's interesting, because Um, personally, because that's the thing. Like he's obviously made it known that he needs he needs more minutes and he needs more opportunity. I just because Grundy is so good at what he does, and in saying that too, like obviously when it comes to Fly will make sure that Grundy will be at an All-Australian level next year. Like I would, if there is any odds on it, I'd actually put money on Grundy being All-Australian.
Oh, for sure.
And just purely by the fact of like how McRae is going to keep Grundy honest and he's going to keep him accountable. So in saying that, I think he'll Grundy will obviously be doing the majority of the ruck. And I'd probably have like say Lynch at like a fullback, and just say to him, it's either you can stay as a ruckman and you can do all your ruckman things and when Grundy goes down you'll be the next one in. But in saying that, because Grundy's going to probably have an All-Australian year and he's going to play the majority of the games, it's really best that he he probably plays somewhere like a fullback where you're taking, instead of taking someone like a Grundy, you're competing with someone like a Roughhead. And with Lynch, competing with Roughhead is more realistic in terms of him having a spot in the side, because Roughhead can potentially get injured, can potentially
because sometimes we leave him out to dry as well.
Yeah.
Like we don't, for whatever reason, Harvey did this. I know Bucks has done this as well. That they don't have a suitable matchup for him, and I think when Charlie Dixon's absolutely killing it for Paul, and he's an inconsistent forward. I think we all know that as well. Like he has too many up and down games. But if Charlie Dixon gets a hold of Roughhead, I feel like the club doesn't really make that tough decision on maybe moving him out the way where you play him on a different player that he can benefit, and you could put a Lynch on Dixon and just get him to learn the experience, and perhaps maybe that's what could be the possibility as well.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting decision that the club has to make on that, because I do feel that when it does come to it, you're gonna need someone as replacement. That's why I thought Kruger was a really good get, because if we didn't, then we obviously aren't going to be getting Wiedemann now. But the fact that we've now not gotten Wiedemann and not gotten Brander, if we had gotten those players, Kruger just would have gone back and he would have been a defender.
Yeah. 100% on that. But
because we haven't got those players, and I'm not too sure if Brander's going to change his mind, but because Wiedemann's re-signed, Brander's probably the more likely to change. But I don't see it now, especially the fact that because we're getting Kruger from Geelong, and Geelong are now wanting Brander. It's not that it's impossible, but just the fact that how trade periods will work out. If you're going to get a player and players are going to be going from other clubs, it's very rare, a club will get both.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible, but it's just rare. So in saying that, it looks like Geelong will probably get Brando and will have Kruger, which is probably out of those two, I'd pick Kruger any day of the week, because I don't think Brando's that much of a key back, or he doesn't have. I haven't seen anything in terms of him being a key back, so I think we probably got the better out of the two personally, but
he tends. I think it's because West Coast, they don't play him as much, so you can't really get good value out of him as much as it probably hurts him. And that's what happens when you're a successful team. Like, the kids that you got, you don't get much of a good chance on really showing on how much depth you got in that side, and then you just lose it.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to happen to us as well when we are successful, is that we're going to be facing this same thing like Richmond, West Coast, even like this year we had to get some depth, otherwise we're in trouble. So I think as well, like it's going to hurt for the long run, but I think that we'll have to take it, you know, when we are successful again and winning premierships. Like, we're gonna have to start doing what Richmond and West Coast have done. Simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, is there any like players that really haven't been spoken about that you want to have an opinion on at this point? 'Cause I feel like someone like it wouldn't surprise me if we shop around and say, well, probably not now because I feel like he's cemented his spot as a wingman now, but it kind of wouldn't surprise me if we shop around and maybe someone like the Hoskin Elliott.
Now, he's a midfielder, correct? Or is he more as a half forward?
He started with us as a forward. He was basically a guy that would play forward, but then Buckley then sort of changed him to sort of like a midfielder, like more a winger, and then in a sense he became like a defensive winger, similar to how May would play, where he would play on the wing, but he was basically a defender that would just move up to the wing, basically.
Because he played a fair bit. In his first year with us, he kicked 18 goals in 2017, and it was averaging, I think, 18.4 disposals per game. In 2018, 26 games, 42 goals, and averaging 13.2. But then he's dropped a bit as well. Like, he's gone from 18, 42, 19, 11, 13 this year. So I just don't know where his best position would be. Like, I think you have to play him the forward line.
Well, it really depends because I think now he's solidified himself as a wingman now. But I wouldn't be against him being half forward, because half forward you can sort of be a wingman and also a forward at the same time. Because in my mind, the people that you play at half forward are guys that go into basically they go into the midfield, but they're not midfield ready, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
They're like a poor man's midfielder. So, yeah, so I could see Hoskin Elliott being either of those two. And then, I mean, Buckley sort of liked him every now and then to go forward and be in the goal square just for something a bit different. That mainly his spots was, he started as like a half forward type that would link up in between the midfield and the forward line. And then his last, 2 years he's been on the wing, so... Which is not a bad spot and not half a bad shout, because he's obviously got a lot of speed and people know him to be quick. Personally, I'd like him to be a bit stronger when he tackles, but
yeah, I think he's not as physical as what he should be when he does tackle.
Yeah, but I think Fly will probably realise that pretty quickly, and I think he'll keep him accountable on things like that, because it is a bit of a weakness, because especially as well just for where he plays. If he plays in a half forward role or wingman role, he's always that sort of, because he'll be in that link up type position on the field. if he misses his tackles, then it guarantees that the opposition players coming out of their defence, if they link up from their defence to their midfield, they're already like basically nearly done in terms of like surging the ball forward into their forward line.
Yeah.
So sticking your tackles in that part of the ground is crucial. So maybe it might be, in saying that, maybe it might be best to maybe put him say half forward and maybe put a Lipinski on the wing and see how he goes with the tackle. But then in saying that too, a wingman's job is just to run and to run all day. So if you can run all day and have a bit of speed to you, sort of thing, that's your role. So that's a wingman's job. But then in saying that too, the ability to tackle shouldn't be ignored either, because if you can't tackle, it makes it hard to get a spot every week.
It's so tough, and it's hard on when you're not there and you can't really see the difference. I don't know about you, but I think being at training and actually seeing on what goes on, how they're training, all the rest as well, it's very difficult to try and get a read on, okay, what are we training on? You can actually see from how we're training to how we play, and it's just so difficult because you can't obviously go and watch them train as much as you would want to. Sort of pain in the ass, realistically.
Yeah. But yeah, is there anyone that we really haven't been speaking about, just to change things up? Because, I'll look at the lineup, the AFL lineup.
What about Rentel? Do we play him in... I don't know if we've spoken about him, but do we play him in the reserves, or do we play him in the senior side?
Again, spoilers for my video. I've got him in the VFL. But then again, that's in the VFL with no injuries. When you start to have injuries, then you got some players playing that I'll have obviously in the VFL. But Rantel's an interesting one because it's very clear he's been affected by COVID in terms of his development. Because when you have your first few years being on a list and you're trying to develop your game into something to where you can take into the AFL, I'm not necessarily like I think Rantel will be good eventually, but that's the problem, is that he'll be good eventually. So and probably it might be best just to hopefully next season we'll get a full season underway and VFL going, because I think that's probably what he needs. He just needs like a full season just to get under his belt and just to get a bit of confidence and a bit of, not necessarily match fitness, but he just needs to, I don't know, there's just a part of me just thinks that he's been really affected by the lack of stability when COVID comes around, because he came in like he got draft of the year going into when we had COVID.
Yeah, he did.
So he's never really had a full season. So yeah, I can see him being good, but he needs to have a bit more, like a few more games under his belt, maybe through VFL, and then maybe he might start to be something then. But yeah, I don't think it'd be worth getting rid of him, because he wouldn't have any value, and even if you get rid of him for say a 4th round, when he gets good and he becomes good, he'll be a lot more his worth will be a lot more than a fourth round once he gets going. I
Yeah,
feel.
100% on that. Because when Lockie gets Luke on Monday night, definitely will be watching that because it's something that we would hope to know what's going on at the club as well. Like it is very hard. Like we're not inside the four walls, so it's just at the outside noise, or it's just an opinion base where okay, we think this player can go, but what about this player, sort of type thing.
Yeah.
Because I know with Mason Cox, like the club says, oh look, you know, Mason will stay, but if we can find the right deal, we'll make that deal. But I think some of these players will have to wait until after the trade period, because Josh Thomas is another one too. Apparently has to wait until after the trade period.
Yeah, but I mean that's what you have to do though. Like, because especially as well, because the reason why they're doing that to Thomas at the very least is because we're probably going to go after Stengel. And if you go after Stengel, it makes Thomas's spot very sort of like hard to fill, because as much as I love JT, and JT is actually, is actually probably one of my favourite players. Well, to be fair, I mean all the guys are my favourite players, but JT I feel gets a bit of a bit of a bad rap, and I don't think he deserves all of it, all the crap he gets.
No, he doesn't.
Like his kicking is like super underrated. Like his connection between the mids to forwards. I don't think people like really understand like how good he is at that. Like hitting a target, and like he's basically on par with like Sidebottom and God, even Noble. Like I reckon it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Noble.
I play him in the midfield a little bit as a part-time thing.
Yeah, I can see him like sort of be, not that he plays or looks like him, but he's got a lot of like Sidebottom-like traits.
Yeah.
Like he's got that bullet pass that he's got in his arsenal, and like personally, in saying that, he may not have a lot of tricks, but the tricks that he does have are actually really good. And yeah, I think his kicking's very underrated. There's just so many things about Noble that I don't think people fully appreciate about him.
No, they don't. Which is unfortunate. I'll be back. I'm just gonna have some dinner, and I might have a shower. I definitely will be back. So to have cut this short. My mum was calling me for dinner. Yeah, definitely we'll chat more about it.
Yeah, no, when you finish, send me a text and I'll be on.
Alright, cool, man.
Alright, all good.
Alright, I'm back, guys. If he does it again, I'll unmod him. I'll take his mod away.
Will be their throw. Saw the pass and dealt with it. Chance to get forward from the wing.
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Time to get the ball in. Wonderful ball. Well, the header was going in, but it was pretty straightforward for the keeper to stop that happening.
Oh, shit.
He's thrown. Wants to have a go. The goalkeeper
Oh.
read it easy. Steered through. He's in. I was on the verge of shouting goal for the first time today. Fans were as well behind that goal.
Oh, 6 likes so far, which is good.
The hosts here taking advantage of home advantage with the possession last 15. You would fancy them to put themselves
Yeah,
in
might as well.
pretty soon. The way that they're playing, we are creating some good chances.
So do we need an assistant coach, you reckon? Like backline, or we should have enough?
When they're keeping the ball. Well, space to get the cross in. Maybe took his eye off the ball. It's an easy cutout before the opposition saw the pass coming. Key.
Yeah.
To Davis. Striding forward, purposefully. Excellent interception.
The referee has indicated
Yeah, pretty much.
2 minutes of added time.
Yeah, I think it's because with the live stream it is a bit delayed, so sometimes I don't know why it's like that, but yeah, it's generally does get like that.
But not quite as clean cut as this one.
There's some movement in the dugout. We're going to get a change here. So it's 1-0 here as the half-time whistle goes. I think that's a good performance, isn't it, Alan, from him in the first half?
Yeah, what a good time to score that was, and put his side in the lead.
Yeah, I've changed some settings around, so I think we should be okay. It's just hard to know if I'm getting your...
I can double check if you need to.
Okay, I'll put your live stream on mute now because I can hear myself. Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you perfectly clear.
Today, fans were as well behind that goal. Opportunity in a wider area. And a try one now. Brilliant goal.
So
I might have to get my other headset then, because the way I've set up in my my YouTube setup, I'll have to get a different headset.
Yeah. Oh, yours I can definitely hear perfectly clear. I think it's... Oh, during live streams, they're always weird when it comes with it, like it's delayed and that
Yeah,
sort
but
of
there's
stuff.
a delay of about 10 seconds, and I don't... And
yeah, I think that's on like every live stream as well. I'm pretty sure. Cause
before there was but before it was live and it was fine. So I think it's just my setup, but I'll be back in a couple seconds.
Alright, cool. Ooh.
Hit the post, back into play. Well, stuck out a foot, cut off the pass. Well, he's made sure that attack came to nothing.
Thought we got the equaliser then. So did most of the crowd in this stadium, I think.
Davis.
Piling into the middle. Defended this well to get to it, but hasn't
Should be two.
finished the job. They've got it away from the danger. Opportunity to play it into the middle. And that will be a throw. Intercepted well. Trying to find the opening.
Alright, we should be all good now.
Alright, sweet. What's the time? It's 6:45. Wow.
You've got to admire here, Martin. The lad getting on to the end of it. The boy seeing the pass quickly.
Just widen the margin here to 2-0. Read the play well.
I might go on 2K, I think. Here we are. Oh, here we go. And... oh.
Alright, am I... Okay, I should be on and should be live now. Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you perfectly clear.
Alright, and then that's live too. Alright, good. Alright, I'll just mute the stream and go from there.
Alright, cool.
Yep, no, it's definitely working now. Awesome.
The break is definitely on.
Yeah, because before, when I was using the other headset, it was getting your audio from your stream and not off your PS4. So now I can, when I hear you, like we can have a conversation and not have it delayed or know, like understand where the context is coming from straight away.
Alright, that's right then. So, I wonder what's gonna happen with Ollie Henry.
I reckon keep him in the forward line for now. He's one of those ones where we're just gonna have to, because I feel like he's the type where we got to keep him in the forward line, just for now. Because there's no point. Because he seems like a confidence player to me personally. So we got to probably keep him in the. We got to keep him in the forward line and make sure he doesn't lose his confidence, because I think that's his biggest. That's his biggest thing right now, is that he needs to not lose any confidence.
Do we play him in the seniors next year, or do we play him in the reserves?
Nah, seniors.
What's
Someone
gonna
like
happen?
What's that?
Oh, Tom was asking what's gonna happen with Sidebottom. Will it be his last season?
Sidebottom's playing AFL. There wasn't there reports or something like that what was it? There was reports that that we may be trading him, but I don't think we will. He's just too valuable, and I think getting him gone for a second round pick, I think, is not only an insult to Sidebottom, but it's just not worth it.
No.
Because I think people need to realise that like Sidebottom just had a bad year. That was what happened to Sidebottom. Like every player goes through it, and fresh start, new beginnings. You'd be surprised how quick they'll get things back. Because the first thing I'll want to remind people as well too. Remember the game? What was it? Was it the West Coast game where he just played out of his skin?
Yep.
He played completely different to what he did, you know, for that whole season. So
he did.
Yeah, I think people need to sort of not throw the toys out of the cot with him especially, and just need to sort of keep the faith that, you know, what we're doing is working, because yeah, Sidebottom is actually, he's still a good player and he's still got a lot to offer, same as guys like Pendles obviously, but I think as well, when you get to that, you know, age where you're like, you know, in your 30s,
You start to
when
slow
you
down.
have your first, well, it's that from a perception point of view. The second you have your first bad game and you're in that age bracket of 30, people start to doubt you real quick.
Yeah.
So that's something where we need to keep in mind is that Sidebottom has he probably played his best game in his career, possibly, but just saying that doesn't mean he can't have serviceable games from now until his retirement, sort of thing. So. You know, because like a serviceable, say, game from, say, someone, like, for example, like a serviceable game from Pendlebury is what, somewhere around the early to mid-20s in terms of disposals, and possibly maybe a goal every now and then. Like, if you had that from any other player, you'd be happy. So it's sort of understanding, like, what you have and, you know, that, like, it's not all lost when it comes to Pendlebury. Well, sorry, with Sidebottom, but yeah, and then obviously Sidebottom's in the same bracket too. It's just that because he had a bad season and he was 30, people sort of, it's easy for someone to say, oh, he's 30 years old, he's past it, we need to get rid of him. Sometimes people just need to chill out on those things because it's not always the case.
So, did last year, for example, did it cost us some wins last year when Sidebottom was out, in your opinion?
What, when Sidebottom didn't play the last few games of 2020?
Yeah, due to obviously stuffing up big time.
Well, the thing is, with Sidebottom, the best part about him is that he's very versatile. Like, except for probably any key positions on the field and for ruck, he can practically play any role. He can play any position on the field. So, that's the thing that, from a coaching point of view, he's probably an absolute dream to coach, and that's one of the reasons why. Again, like I wouldn't be writing off Sidey too quickly because I feel like he's gonna have a pretty good. He's probably not gonna have maybe like a Brownlow type year where he's gonna be competitive with, like, you know, people going for the Brownlow, but in saying that, you don't have to be at that level to have a good season, you know.
No, that's it.
So I think some people just need to chill on that and just sort of like understand that when it does come to society, like, you know, just because he's 30 doesn't mean he's old and washed up. You know, you can still have a bad season just like any other player in the competition.
Well, that's it. I think that's what it
So,
boils down to as well.
oh, actually, I just read the comment too. Tom, I can guarantee you he's not being delisted. I can guarantee you because he's way too good to be delisted. So if you think it's going down that path, it's not happening. Just yeah, want to make that extremely clear. Yeah, because that is the notion that people can have, is that, you know, the second you have a bad year, it's like, oh yeah, this guy's washed up. When, you know, every player goes through a bad season, and is it bad timing? Yeah, probably because of his age and stuff, but that's really all it is that it's just bad timing.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, because also as well, like, yeah, if you, I think it was the West Coast game. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was the West Coast game. And I mentioned it. I remember mentioning it on Swoop's podcast or live stream when it happened. When Sidebottom was having those bullet passes into the forward line. Like, if we get those types of passes from him, and we play him around like the half forward position, like, look out, because I reckon he could be a fantastic. He could provide some fantastic football for us, and, you know, he could be one of the, you know, important cogs we have to, you know, put into, you know, our best 22, and that potentially puts us into finals.
Yeah, I'm not expecting him next year to I think really dominate. I think if we can get the best out of him now, I think that would be better.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah, I just reckon people are riding off Sidey just a little bit too quickly. And I think as well, the other thing that needs to probably be mentioned too, the conversations that happen in the media world don't really happen inside the club, inside the four walls too. And I can guarantee you the notion won't be, oh shit, we got to look for a home for Sidebottom. It's more along the lines of, shit, we need to like find, like, well, it's not even like starting off with shit. It's like, we need to find a role that he can play, that's his best position, and whether that's him being out of the midfield, you know, possibly, maybe being out of the midfield is probably best for him, but then also for the team too, because, you know, you got guys like McRae coming through, and you know, maybe Bianco might be in that midfield at some point, like, but again, I think he's more of a half forward. Yeah, it just depends, but, you know, the flexibility of having Sidebottom is so much needed. I don't think people are understanding how important that is.
yeah, Tom just posted up. I think he stays in the midfielder over. I think he's more of a half forward. Our centre line would be Digari, Adamson, Dacos, and Mark.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's the thing. also as well, like you got to also take into account when it comes to, you know, when a season plays out, you know, there are things that are just like inevitable that you know you just can't control. So things like injuries are going to happen. Like, so if say I don't know who's in that bracket. We'll say someone like an Adams. You know, Adams could do another. You know, obviously touch wood, but Adams could do another hamstring. You know, DeGoey, he's had his issues as well with injury, but you know, I think DeGoey's sort of gotten over his issues.
Issues, yeah.
But you know, in saying that too, like you know, there's no
It's alright.
like you can never have you know too much depth, and when you have say someone like a time edge too. Oh, I can't.
John, it's okay, mate. No, there's no need to spam.
Yeah, I can't time him out because he's a mod.
Maybe I can. Yeah, I
But yeah,
just
like,
him out.
yep. Yeah, so I'll read back up the messages. Yeah, and even like you know, but then also as well, you know, if you have Nick Dacos and McRae in there, you know, you're talking about a first and second year player once we start going. So you know, there's not a lot of what's the word? There's not a lot of they haven't like cemented their spot in the side in terms of like or they haven't cemented their name in the game, if that makes any sense. So
Yeah.
someone like a McRae, as amazing as he looks at the moment, and as amazing as he will be, being where he is at the moment, he's not. He still, how do I put it, like he doesn't, his currency isn't at its peak yet. Where you know someone like Sidebottom, you know Sidebottom is someone that you know has you know I guess the credits in the banks, so to speak. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, so it's. But then again, will McRae get it? Yeah, clearly because he's an absolute gun. But that's where he's at because he's only in his second year. It's very rare someone's gonna have like a what's it called, like sort of like a you know it takes a couple of years for your name to be recognised, you know, all over the competition. And he will be there eventually. He's just not there now.
So would you play him in the reserves, or would you play him in the seniors?
McRae.
Yeah.
If no injuries are to happen and we've got a full list, personally I'd have him in the VFL. Only because, and I did do, I did make a video and I just haven't edited it all. Basically, my reasoning was that you know it really sucks because he's a very good player. So I'm not saying that he's a bad player and should just be in the VFL because he doesn't have talent. Because it's the complete opposite. He's going to be just as good as his brother, if not better. One of the main reasons is just because we've just got guys in the midfield that are just more. They just have bigger names. Or not bigger names. Like they're just more solid when it comes to picking out a squad. And then also as well, the other thing that I want seeing McRae do as well is getting a lot of the guys that played AFL, like a bunch of the kids that played AFL, you know, when they Yeah, when the kids are starting to play AFL, you know, have them in the VFL and have them gel together. Because that's the other
Yeah.
thing that we probably need to do too, is that we need to get some continuity and some connections, a decent connection between the players. And I think you can do that in both the VFL and the AFL, but then also do that in the VFL with a lot of the kids. Like, probably not someone like an Ollie Henry, because Ollie Henry will develop better if he's in at AFL level, because he's a confidence player. So for his confidence, he'll need to play AFL more than VFL.
Yeah.
Right, give me a second. I need to
Sorry.
yeah, fix this dog.
They've spread it out wide here.
I just timed him out, Gross, so it's all good for now. Might need to take his mod away and hide. Might have to hide him.
They are the league leaders, Alan, and they're playing like league leaders.
Yeah, tend to agree. Do you reckon Kruger and Lipinski play around one? We'll get to that question.
He's playing it back to the goalkeeper.
Personally, I don't see why not, but we'll have to wait and see.
Alright, I should be back now.
Alright, cool.
Yep.
Tom asked a good question. Do you reckon Kruger and Lipinski will play round one?
Yes, so I was just about to get to that. Yeah, so Kruger will, yeah, both Kruger and Lipinski will be in round one. Yeah, there's one of the things when it comes to going getting players. You don't go out of your way to get players to play VFL football.
No.
So if you're going out of your way to get a Kruger and a Lipinski, and you're going as hard as we are at them, you're not going to go after them as hard as we are if you're going to, you know, if you're going to obviously put them in the VFL. Unless if they're kids, obviously, or, you know, there's obviously exceptions to every rule, but if you're, especially the fact that we're crying out for a key forward, and we need a bit more spark and a bit more X factor and speed in the middle, those are the two keys that we probably need at the moment. So, unless if there's any issues from, I don't know, an injury point of view, or they're not gelling well with the system that McRae's put in, I would expect them to play round one, personally.
I think it's better.
Yeah, because, like, you don't, like... And even though we'll probably be getting these players at probably bargain values, we're basically going to be treating them as if we're giving away, like, a round two, or, like, basically round two picks. And especially these are the ones that, you know, if you ask me that, you know, what do we need? And there are basically three things: we need a key defender, key back, and probably a quick midfielder that, you know, breaks the lines, similar to how Trelaw would break the lines, even though he's obviously gone.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, Judge, just make sure you don't do it again.
Jesus. Were you able to hear that?
I could hear it.
Yeah. No, my dog is trying to the dog that we have here is trying to scare off the cat, so they're just running all over the house. So they're just crashing and bashing into everything.
Ah, it's all good. Ah, it's okay, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, Lipinski and Kruger are in round one. Probably nothing I can obviously guarantee because I'm not the coach, but you can practically guarantee, unless if there's unless if they're just not ready to go or they're injured, they'll be there round one. But yeah, it's it'll be a waste of time having them in the VFL, especially if they're ready to go. And I'm assuming Kruger's probably in the same boat as Lipinski, but I know for a fact like Lipinski's just chewing at the bit to get some games.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nick Dacos will play round 1 too.
Yeah. At this point, I'd say yes.
Yeah.
Because purely just because of his talent alone, you can play him in the VFL, but he just seems that type of player where you just need to chuck him in the deep end, and I feel like that's how we're going to play him. Is we're just going to chuck him in the deep end and just see how he goes, because it's more than likely he'll find a way to hypothetically float, if that makes any sense. But that's where we're at with.
I don't think if he even if he play in the VFL, I don't think that he'll take long. I think he'll start dominating, and the coaching staff will be like, yeah, we have to play him.
Well, if you've seen his highlights and you've seen how he plays, he's ready to go now.
Yeah, that's
we just need to make sure we don't. We just need to make sure we don't put all the pressure on him, because that's why. If you look at, for example, how Carlton treated Cripps, you want to know why Cripps is basically taped up like a mummy? It's because they just gave him no support in the midfield, and he got crunched every single week in, week out, when he had such a young and weak body. And that's why he's taped up like an absolute, that's basically why he's taped up as much as he is. So,
yeah, I don't know how you feel about this comment. Bulldogs in rush with Ugle-Hagan, McRae might have the same idea. Yeah, I think...
No, I'd actually disagree, only because there's a massive difference between developing a key forward and developing a midfielder. Key forwards take time.
Yeah,
they take time to develop their bodies, and their overall... Not that they're necessarily dumber, but they're more
fragile.
Like, lankier. They're not like... It's like a... Their job is to be strong and to hold themselves in the contest. And when you're 18 at that age and at that size, you're just not... you're just not able to do that. So you sort of like, in a sense, you're just wasting your time in that sense. We all know he's probably got the talent and he's good enough to, be a fantastic AFL player. He's just not ready to be an AFL player yet. Because if you think about it, someone like a Hugo Hagen, if he's going to be coming up against someone, I mean, who's the best fullback in the comp at the moment? Like Stephen May.
Yeah, Stephen
May. Imagine you can Ugle Hagen on someone like a Stephen May. You look at that and go, mate, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then confidence will be an issue then. So then you got to make sure that you got to pay attention to him, making sure that he's got his confidence ready to go. There's just too much. What's it called? There's just too much to work on if he is to play AFL. So, where someone say like a Dacos doesn't have to have someone like a Stephen May. He'll have, especially as well because with Dacos will get the 5th or 6th best mid. Where Ugle Hagen best case scenario for him, he'll get the 2nd best key defender. And that, in terms of skill level and talent, is probably a more challenging prospect than say like the 5th or 6th midfielder.
One thing I'm a little bit worried as well with Kruger is I'm worried about the fact is it might take him longer to develop a little bit because he hasn't played as much with Geelong. and I don't know how they, develop him enough.
Well, the thing is that he has had. How long has he been in the competition? 3 years?
Well, he's 22, I believe.
22, so he's had what, 4 years?
Yeah, about that.
So that's he's probably at the start of his what's it called? He's probably at the start of his development of being the best. Sorry, being at his best form in terms of like physical, in terms of his physical body.
Yeah.
So I think the only thing for him is just a bit of confidence, because my only question now is that he's got the talent, he's got the ability, he just needs to. My only question is, how is he going to go when he has a bad game? Is he going to crack the shits? Is he going to have his head down? That's the things I'm worried about with him. Well, not worried about, but those will be the things I'll be looking for. Is he going to keep on working just as hard? I'm sure you'll have guys like Checkers, just giving him some words of encouragement, things like that. So I wouldn't be stressing about that stuff too much, but if there is a question, that's probably what I'd be questioning him on, is if he puts his head down, what is he going to do?
Look at Hammercott's been in the AFL for 6 years and finally hit his peak. Yeah, but in a way, Carlton rely on him too much too, Tom. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, I remember with Hawthorn, they had Buddy Franklin Roughhead. It's they did.
Yeah.
They had
one thing I would say is think about when Geelong had their successful years and when they had all their players in their prime. When, say, someone like an Ablett was playing in the midfield, think about all the big bodies that they had to protect Ablett.
Yeah.
Carlton didn't have that, and then that's why. And and you may say, oh, it's just a game of footy and blah blah, but I can guarantee you, when you get tackled like you do when you play AFL, I would imagine it would hurt.
Oh yeah.
Not that you can only take, say, 10 hits or whatever, but I'm sure in terms of just being crunched or being tackled or whatever, I'm sure Cripps has had so many in his career already.
Yeah.
Which is why he's got probably all the tape on him and all that stuff. So when you're in a position where you're, say, someone like a Gary Ablett, his position is a bit more interesting only because he had a whole bunch of people to rely on, and he didn't have to take the whole load, if that makes any sense.
Pretty much. I think certain players develop different. If they're ready to go, they're ready to go. I think with Nick Dacos, he would be protected by Pendlebury and Adams, so we can't really rely on him that much. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you got plenty of support there. Like, as you said, you got Pendlebury, you got DeGoey, you got Adams. I'm not sure if Hoskinelli could maybe do anything because he's more of that quick player. He's not very physical. Geez, like if Maynard goes in the middle, like, good luck if you want to pick a fight with Maynard. Chris, maybe, if Chris wants to throw hands, like, there are guys in there that are good enough, and that's only off the top of my head. I mean, I'm sure Brown as well, Cal, if he gets into the squad,
What about Jamie Elliott? Because he can.
I'd assume Elliott would be that sort of like bigger, like he wouldn't back down from anything. But yeah, like it's to have that in a sense, so to have a midfield group that has your back and then also takes a bit of the load. Like Carl never had that with Cripps.
No.
So if you see, and that's the other thing, Tom, too, with Harry McKay. Like Harry never really had. I mean, this probably sounds like a shot, but it's not. Harry McKay basically had Levi Casbolt to, take his pressure, and Casbolt never really did enough to warrant being the best forward. So whenever a defender would go on the best forward, it would never be Casbolt. So Harry Mackay, as a young kid, always got the best defender. So that's where it's like, in a sense, it's kind of like how like with poker and how you have a high card.
Yeah.
That's basically how you need to do that in terms of, if you have a young player, you need to make sure that the young player isn't taking the best key forward. Oh, sorry, the best key defender if they're playing key forward.
No, you want him on the third or fourth or fifth best defender.
Or at the very least a second. Because something like getting a play confidence is obviously massive. So just throwing him out there and just having him on the best key back. I mean, some players have done it and they've been successful through it, but it's like with Magin. Like when it comes to Magin, Buckley has been playing Magin as a key back. Magin is not a key back. For him to be successful, he needs to, in a really weird way, even though he doesn't look like him, but he really reminds me of like a Nick Maxwell. Like he needs to be that sort of, like at the very least, he needs to be a third tall. Like he can maybe defend if there's a third key forward that's maybe 192 to 94 centimeters. So like, I'm trying to think. No players are coming to my head, but someone like a Checkers, where Checkers is say 193, 194. That's someone when Magin could match up on and do well. But the thing is, people don't realise is that he's matching up on key forwards that are 2 meters tall. And if they're not 2 meters tall, they're 196, 197, and they run like the wind. So he's it's having him as a key defender. It's not his best position. So yeah, I guess that's my take on that. Because Magin is not necessarily a bad player. He's just been played out of position, and there's definitely a difference between the two with that.
Yeah, I do feel sorry for him, unfortunately. It's getting the best defender as well. It must be hard.
But then obviously back on like Kruger and stuff. In saying that though, like Kruger's probably gonna be our main sort of key forward now, and he probably doesn't have the height to be he's 196, which isn't super tall, but tall enough to be a key defender. But I'm sure. But I feel like in the forward one you can get away with it in terms of having no height than in the defense.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to the defense, you need to obviously defend, and if you're trying to defend a key forward that's say 202 centimeters, good luck trying to be 192 or 194 and trying to defend that, because the task at hand is so difficult. It's literally unfair for any coach to put a player through that and expect them to win that battle. Because not only do you have the height disadvantage, but you've also got, the reach as well, depending on how long your arms are and all that shit. So.
I think that's it. What's chat saying? Oh, I've already spoken to him, Grass. It's all good. We don't have many key defenders other than Moore and Rothford. We only have Madrid and King for backup. Howe usually plays as the third tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we need to talk to someone like who we spoke about before. We need to speak to Fly needs to talk to someone like a Lynch and just be like, mate, how badly do you want to play footy? And if you want it that bad, there's a spot for you at fullback. Because the thing is that when you play ruck, there's really, at most, you're only vying for 2 spots.
Yeah.
And if you've got someone like a Grundy that's, basically going to be an All-Australian next year, which is what I'm calling, it's not really a realistic sort of, if you want to prolong your career, it's not really a realistic target to, compete with someone like a Grundy. Like, you're more better off, competing with someone like a Roughhead that's got 2 years left, and then at that point, because you've done the hard yards, you've practically got the fullback spot, for the next, I believe Lynch is 24, so in 2 years' time it'll be 26, so you've got, the position of fullback for the next 6 years at the very least, once, Roughhead retires after that, so, I could see it playing out like that. It's just a matter of if Lynch wants to do that, and if he's going to hesitate and or doesn't want to play that role, it will make us a little bit sort of weaker in terms of, with our key pack stocks. I could also see even like Begg going down there. Like Begg, to me, if you look at his highlights, he looks like a poor man's Darcy Moore.
Yeah.
So I could easily see Begg going down back, even though he's been touted as a ruckman key forward, but he's a lot more mobile than most ruckmen, and he's 197 centimeters. So for an AFL level, 197 centimeters is not like, you shouldn't be having a main ruckman that's at that height.
Yeah.
It's fine when it comes to VFL level because there's a bit of people who are just a little bit smaller and things like that, and you're able, if you're talented enough, you can work with it. But when it comes to AFL and the standard is already high enough as it is, I can definitely see someone like a Begg. They'll probably, in terms of his best position, and if they had free range and no issues when it comes to people having spots, they would probably love for him to. They'll probably love for him to be a forward that's like play second ruck, which would be perfect because we definitely need someone like that. Because in my mind, I just don't rate Cameron.
Yeah. Oh,
but yeah, he's gonna have to find a place somehow on this side.
Sweet Luke has just uploaded a video called "Who is Justin Lepich and Brendan Bolton?"
No, that's good. I'll check it out then.
Will do.
There you go.
We should be developing. This is what I'm saying. We should be developing Kelly into a key defender, but he wants to be forward. What are your thoughts on that?
Same as Imagine. He's too small to be a key defender. But in saying that, I do rate his ability to read the ball. We already do have a lot of players trying to mold themselves around, say, so personally, because you got, I probably wouldn't say Imagine is a Howe type, but you got probably like a Tom Wilson, like he could be similar to Jeremy Howe. You've got Marquine, who's another Jeremy Howe type. Let me look at this list, and I can actually get all and not miss anybody.
Oh, it goes nearly 9 minutes, the video.
Yeah. So Marquine and Tom Wilson, they're similar in a sense where, you know, they're going for a Jeremy Howe spot. Will Kelly, I could see doing it. Nathan Murphy could, but I think he's more of like a Chris Main type.
Yeah, I think it's weird with him. I don't know. I think he's better off as a forward, maybe, or as a.
Nah, I think they need to do exactly what they did with Main. He just needs a bit of confidence, so I'd put him in the VFL, put him on the wing, and just make him play as like a defensive wing, personally. And that's about it, I think. Similar to Tyler Brown, I think Tyler Brown's another one where he can be another main type to where he could be a defensive wing.
Oh shit, yeah.
But yeah, you basically got, what's that, 3 players I mentioned? Keane, Wilson, and Kelly. Potentially are all, you know, Jeremy Howe types. So, yeah, and then, we're not getting anyone through trade for the draft. Yeah, so in terms of stocks, in terms of say someone like a Jeremy Howe, there's obviously a lot of depth there. Yeah.
Non c'è tempo per altre domande, mi dispiace. Grazie e alla prossima.
Yeah, I think
but no,
it's...
like Magin's more of like a because we got a lot of guys that I guess technically we list them as key defenders, but they're just too small. They'd be good if they're lining up on like a third key tall, like a third key forward.
Yeah.
Because then at that point you're dealing with someone that's in around the mid 190s, or like low 190s, and then that's fine. But yeah, if you're dealing with someone that's like over 2 meters, and you're already giving up, say for example, 8 to 10 centimeters, that alone, with then also the disadvantage with the reach, it's just not realistic to expect them to win those contests. Yeah, personally, Lynch, if he's not going to be a ruckman, he should probably be a fullback. And when it comes to Roughhead, I mean, it's again he should play that fullback role, but I guess as well it doesn't hurt to have the versatility as well. You know, just to have someone in the side where, you know, if he does play fullback, if say someone like a Grundy does go down, you do have him to play ruck.
Yeah, that's it.
But then, I mean, yeah, you can say the same thing for Lynch as well. Like, you know, but then you need obviously someone to replace someone. If you're going to replace either Roughhead or Lynch on game day, who's gonna be fullback? Potentially you could do Grundy. But I'm not too sure how Grundy would go when it comes to just flat out being a fullback.
I think he'll get monstered easily. I think with Grundy,
I don't think he'd be monstered. He might lose in if a key forward like sprints out on the lead. he might be in a little bit of trouble. But if it's a one-on-one contest, I mean, he does that all around the ground, and he normally wins those when he's in form. So I wouldn't think it would be the worst shout, but it would definitely wouldn't be. It wouldn't be something you'd want to do. In terms of, it's not something you would want to do if you had the choice. It's something where you would throw him in as like a shit. Things have gone a bit pear-shaped here. We kind of have to do this.
Would you have... Alright, so you know how Gorn, right, when he rocks, he pushes in defence and helps out the defence, and then he goes forward and can be that target. Do you see Grundy as that type, or you think...
Well, that's what he did this year, didn't you? That's... Grundy went forward.
Yeah, but do you see him also going back in defence and helping out the defence as well?
Well, he does do that, I think. So it wouldn't be foreign to him. It's just a matter of can you do it while actually being there, not just running into defence. I'd imagine he could, but I wouldn't essentially know, because like we haven't really... I mean, we've seen him in defence, but we haven't seen him line up on anybody and like flat out for a full game, like say take the key forward on. So I don't know who we play like round one, but if Grundy was to say line up at full back, and they wouldn't have, yeah, they wouldn't have released the fixtures yet, but you know, hypothetically, let's just say we play a Bulldogs and God, I should know who their full forward is because they played last night. I don't know, say someone like a Shaki, for example, you know, would he be able to, you know, he probably wouldn't be able to beat him in terms of speed, but if he's playing one-on-one, there's probably not a lot to go off, but I'd imagine he'd be alright as like a, you know, having a one-on-one matchup.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, Tom definitely agrees with you. You can see Lynch being as a key defender. Rutherford was the ruckman at the Bulldogs. Yeah, that's actually a true point. He was.
But I think at this point, especially at his age, I don't think you can really be changing players at this point because he's only, as I said, he's only got 2 years left. So it's fine to do it to say someone like a Lynch who's at 24, and then say 2 years time if it works. You know, he'll be in 2 years time. Say he's 26. That's alright. But when you're 30, is he 30 or 31? I'll look it up.
Oh, I think he's nearly in his 30s.
He's definitely 30. Yeah, there you go. He'll be 31 in November.
So he's got at least 1 or 2 years left.
Yeah, I'd say he's got 2 years left. Like, no, and especially when you have guys that are, you know, tall too, they normally don't. It's only really the midfielders you really see that go towards, you know, 36. In that age bracket. So, and then it depends on injuries and things like that too. I mean, that has to play a factor as well. But yeah, that's basically where we're at, is the potential of only having Rockhead for another 2 more years.
Oof, our people in the chats were sweet. But yeah, personally, I think next year and the year after are going to be really good times. Obviously, I can actually see us 10th pushing towards the finals. If I were to say a team that would come out is Geelong and potentially the Bulldogs. Because
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if you've seen the stat or not, but whenever a team gets smacked in the grand final, they don't make the 8 the following year, or they do but they don't be in the grand final. And that's happened.
Yeah, they sort of like
numerous
become pretenders or something, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh no, I need to go toilet.
I could see that happening. Because like as you're saying, like with the record and stuff like that.
Because Giants did it as well. They were 2020. They were nowhere. 2021. Oh shit! Now I need to go toilet. Fuck.
Yeah, no, I can hold the fort down and you can go do what you need to do.
That's sweet, man.
I'd say that's actually a big call, Tom. But I wouldn't actually bet against it, to be honest, because it's very possible that it can happen. Because especially, I do feel that they have one more year at least in them. Because I mean, all those guys. I mean, it's not like they're all 36. And I think, from memory, I think they're going to get Brander. I think they've been linked to someone like a Brander, so at least they get a key forward. Or at least someone that can mould for someone because Hawkins isn't going to be around forever. In fact, he's only got a couple of years left himself. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where Geelong will be next season. Because I don't think it'll be if they make finals, I'd be surprised if they're in the top 4. Yeah, I actually do. It's going to be interesting to see where they finish. Because you got Asprey and Hawley both retired. Those are big outs. But was it Robbie Tarrant? Robbie Tarrant wanted to go to Richmond. So if they pick him up, that would be a really good get. So you got Asprey. Asprey's replacement is pretty solid. They'll probably need. I don't know if they have a Hawley replacement because I haven't, thought about Richmond in a while. So I'm not sure if they have a replacement that's ready for someone like a Hawley, but I'm pretty sure Richmond have a really good draft hand too. So potentially they could maybe that's what their first pick will be, is someone that plays halfback and similar to a Hawley type, which wouldn't be the worst idea for them considering Hawley's retired. I can see them making finals, whether if they're in the top half or bottom half. We'll probably have to wait and see to see who they get in. But yeah, I think it was something like. Am I mistaken? It's something like Richmond have got like 3 first-round picks or something, or maybe it was 2, and then they had a second round that was very early. Yeah, they've got a really good draft hand. So it'd be really interesting to see what they do because with Asprey and Hawley gone, it'll be. Yeah, I reckon they can. I reckon that they'll turn it around because they did have a lot of guys being injured. Which, in saying that too, if you have the same year and those guys aren't injured, I'm sure results can go a little bit different. Because I only just missed out, I feel too. Yeah, they had something like 3 or 4 picks inside the top 30, I think it was. In fact, I'll look it up. Yeah, so they've got pick 11, 16, 25, and 30. What was that? 4 picks? 4 picks inside the 30. So pick 11, pick 16, pick 25, and I think it's 30 after that. Yeah, pick 30. So I got 4 picks inside the 30, which is, if we thought we had a good draft, in the last draft that just happened, I think that's what we had roughly. So it was something like we had six and I think 45. Oh, I think Bo was pick 44. So we had 6 and 44. So it's not really. Well, there you go. So yeah, not too sure if you do a straight swap for 11 and 16 for pick 3, but um, you would think Gold Coast would want just a little bit more. I feel, but because pick 3 is a pretty high pick. But I'm sure it wouldn't take much more to get that done. Yeah, but I hope Collingwood are in the top 8 as well too. I've said this multiple times. I think if we get who we get, and clean up around like the draft, and get a couple of other draftees that we obviously don't know about, I can't see us. It's definitely possible for us to make finals next year. My only question is the connection between all the players and if everyone's going to buy into McRae's system. But yeah, I feel like we're probably gonna be in the bottom half of the top 8. I feel we'll be about 6th, I reckon, next year if we get all those guys that we're rumored to get. Um, Especially as well, we're probably looking to get. Don't know if it's been mentioned too much, even though I'm a massive fan of him at the moment. Tyson Stengel will be massive if we pick him up in the. I believe we'll probably pick him up in the rookie draft. He's been tearing it up in the Sandful, and can't wait for him to play because he'll be a great asset, and we'll probably give guys like a McQuarrie. We won't have to rely on him so much. Um, yeah, we won't have to rely on him so much to where we're basically forced to play him because for a kid that's already done, what was it, 2 hamstrings this year, we probably need to wrap him up in cotton wool for a little bit and make sure he doesn't get injured. Because yeah, when you're a kid at that age and that young, the last thing you need is for him to be doing hamstrings. Mm. But yeah, so is there any players in the AFL currently at the moment that you guys want to see in black and white colours chat? Because I know the ones that are definitely out at the moment, I think Brander's going to Geelong, Wiedemann's signed a 2-year deal at Melbourne, and who was the other one that we were rumoured to get, Kev?
I'm back. It
Was there another one?
Wiedemann, Brander, Kruger,
Stevens.
Stevens. Yeah.
Yeah, Stevens re-signed, so he's not coming. Yeah. Tom, just when it comes to Dib, we're probably, I will say it's most likely that we will get him. Only because I think the AFL media tried to do a bit of a one-up on Collingwood when it came to Dib. Because I don't know if you saw, Kev, I don't know if you saw, God, who was it? Cal Toomey? He had his best 22 for the All-Australian, like, under-18s.
Yep.
And he does this, like, hypothetical thing. He had Dib in there at the start of the year, and then halfway through he actually took him out and he put someone else in there. And I've got a theory. Yeah, I've got a theory that, not that, this is probably me putting my tinfoil hat on, but I've got a theory that, you know, he probably did that. Whether if he did it knowingly or not, you know, it'll be hard to know. But my theory is that he did that because he wanted to, he was one trying to stay, you know, like, credible so that he could be a journalist that people can take him seriously on things. And second of all, it was a little bit of trying to make sure that Colin would pay, in a sense, Colin to pay, like, overs for him too. So now the fact that he's actually out of the best 22, in terms of the All-Australian squad, I think we'll pick him up now, and we'll probably pick him up for, I think someone said pick 40, and I think pick 40 sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stevens was the one that we were forgetting. That's only because when that happened, like, it basically got debunked, like, straight away. Well, not debunked, but he basically re-signed, like, what, like a week or two after we said all that stuff. Which, you know, all that stuff happens. It happens eventually.
Well, with Geelong, I think they will miss out, and I think Richmond will miss out next year as well. I think they're in a rebuilding phase now.
Yeah.
I think you see Richmond in the next 3 or 4 years. I think they'll start to rebuild, and I think as well it'll give teams like Collingwood, Carlton to try and rise up the ladder. Just think, yeah, they've had injuries this year and they've had to play the kids, but I think the kids are looking really good.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, when it comes to, yeah, I'd imagine Sherrod at Carlton, that's basically going to happen. I mean, I don't know what Carlton have in terms of picks and what Fremantle want in terms of players. Well, don't Fremantle want like 2 first-rounders or something? Which, for a guy of his age bracket and talent, I'd imagine that would get done as 2 first-rounders.
Oh, you think so, but Fremantle are a team that they like to play overs for their players. So I just...
What, so you're going to want 3 first-rounds?
2 first-rounders plus a player.
If it's a fringe player, I could see it. Similar to what we did with Beams to when we traded him to Brisbane.
Well, it is on Friday, and I think the rest is on the Monday, so I think that's going to be interesting as well. So I'm going to try and keep an eye on that as much as possible, so I can censor like what will happen. Because there's a lot of, at this time, there's a lot of rumours at stake. Either they're going to get done or they're not going to get done. But I think that Chore to Gold Coast will happen quickly. It's all a matter of sorting out the deal. Robbie Tarrant to Richmond. As a player, I think he's a third rounder. I don't think he's a first or second round. Mainly because of his age. I think that
How old
Robbie
is
Tarrant's
Tarrant?
had
Is he
his
in his 30s?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
And he's been injured as well, so that doesn't help the situation.
Mm.
I think Dunkley wants to stay at the Bulldogs now.
I know he wanted to go in the last trade period, and then something happened where he wanted to then stay. Whether if he wants to stay now, I'm not too sure. Yeah.
Poor attempt at a pass, really. He's got space.
But yeah, this...
Possessing the ball well, but now they've lost it.
As I said in my video, and even talking to Lockie about it, like I truly do believe that we can have a really good run, 3 premierships in 6 years. I think if we trade well and we pick the right players on who we need to get rid of and who we need to have, I think that will definitely be up there.
Well, the thing is that I reckon when it comes down to it, the thing that makes it more believable for me is that if we three-peat. If we three-peat, then that means that we've got basically 3 years to develop the kids. And if we do that, and then go on a run and we three-peat, then that obviously gets it done. Personally, like I thought by 2028 we'd have 17. But yeah, I do know this though. I do know that when it comes to McRae and just how he goes about things, I do know that we will have success under him. It's just a matter of who we have that success with, and you know, because also by then in 2 years' time we'll probably I believe Ben King will be available for free agency around in about 2 years' time. So that's why I think I mentioned it might have been Lockie's stream, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did.
In 2 years' time, you know, because we haven't got weed now, we probably won't get Wiedemann ever. Because by the time in 2 years' time, we'll have so much cash and so much I feel like we're going to be like a destination club too at that point as well too, to where we probably would be not necessarily like, you know, I mean the year going into it we'll probably be finishing around 5th or 4th, or maybe sneaking into that top 4. But we'll be one of the teams where people will want to come over to Collingwood. So someone like a Ben King is probably going to happen. So unless if Wiedemann wants to take a little bit of less money, which I don't think he will. But again, if he does, then that's
Offer something to Mackay when he's a free agent. Yeah, nah, I don't think you want him. Don't know if you want Harry Mackay from Carlton, but I really do. Personally, nah.
I do rate him as a player. I don't know. I just feel like he's just too hard to get. I don't know why. I just feel like for some reason it's just not going to happen. He's just going to be just way too hard to get, and it's but I can't give you a good reason though. So it's like, there's nothing stopping us, but I just feel like it's just not going to happen.
Carlton will make it difficult. I think. I
Maybe
think.
maybe that's what it is, because I know Carlton are notorious for just being straight up, just like they're just like, yeah, give us 3 first rounders or piss off, and it's like, huh?
He's had one good year. He doesn't back it up as often.
Yeah, that's always the thing I always find too, is that whenever players sign on the big money, especially like the bigger players, like the key position players, it's very rare that they're worth their contract. Like even I don't know if you remember, Kev, but going into the year where we had the choice to give Cloak a 5-year deal or not, I believe it was around 2013.
2012,
Cloak was
I'm
just,
pretty sure. Yeah.
was it? Yeah,
Yeah.
he was tearing teams apart, like absolutely killing it, and we're like umming and ahhing, going, shit, you know, like he's warm warranted, but we're not sure, and you know there was a lot of umming and ahhing, and then we gave him a 5-year contract, and then it was so clear that he just wasn't worth his contract.
Because Carlton and Fremantle were
In fact,
interested.
I think we got rid of him about. I think he had the 2 years left on his contract when we actually did get rid of him.
Yeah, he
You
wanted
know, that was
to the
how bad,
Bulldogs.
like we wanted to get rid of him.
Because he dropped big time in
Yeah,
form.
massively.
Like, he just, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because we didn't get the support or not. You know, he was wrestling, was trying to be big and strong. His best games aren't kicking 2 goals for. I think his best games is 12 disposals, 8 marks, 2 goals, 1 or something.
Yeah.
Because playing up the ground helps him.
Yeah. But like even with, I think as well, like one of the things I found interesting was that when Cloak started to play bad, was when, or not bad, but like when he was out of form, was when it was like in vogue to have key defenders that were over 2 meters tall. Because that's only been a thing for about maybe 8 years, if that. Like before then, like a key defender was like 195, 196 centimeters. And then it got to the point where like basically someone that was 200 centimeters or 202 were basically like defenders.
Yeah.
And I think with someone like Cloak, who was 195 centimeters, like again, it's that thing of, you know, when because he really didn't have any more traits than really being a really, like, a fantastic contested mark. But when when your competition becomes a, you know, 194, 195 centimeter defender to, you know, a 202 centimeter defender, like, the amount of work that you have to do to beat your opponent is so much more, and there's like so much more pressure. And then you got, you know, the money that you, in a sense, I guess, in a way where you kind of feel guilty, to where you kind of feel like you have to find a way to prove your value, because if not, you know, you're gonna cop a lot of shit on social media. Like, that's one of the things I think people don't sort of realise, is that, you know, when it came to Cloak and stuff, he was in that sort of weird spot where he was like trying to adjust to, you know, all these really tall key defenders like coming in.
Oh yeah,
And
it was.
I think a lot of people don't not like give him credit, but like, you know, don't sort of at least take that into consideration of like that was something he had to do, because prior to that contract, like, he was one of the best contested marks. Like, he would make key defenders like shit himself week in and week out each team we were playing, and then he just became this sort of. It wasn't like he became ancient. He just felt like he just got found out, and then he just became this.
Yeah.
In a sense, he became kind of like a has-been, but then he wasn't. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think I do feel sorry for him sometimes, because I thought the second time he got dropped, he was unlucky. because Jesse White had a poor game, I thought. But then we dropped Clerk and we got Cox in for Anzac Day, and it's just like, and then we had, like, it was dropped like 3 times, and I think was struggling with mental health as well.
Yeah, I think he, when he retired, I think he came out and said that he was struggling with a bit of mental health, and he was struggling a fair bit. So, and I mean that's also something that he was probably playing with as well too. Is that, you know, having to be that best player in the competition, to having to accept that, you know, you're not as good as what you think you are now, at least. You know, it probably is something to where that's, you know, very hard to deal with because, you know, he's obviously human. I mean, it's not like he's some.
Oh, that's it. I think, and I think the same thing with Carlton. Like, I would not pay Mackay big money just off the 1 year. Like, I would say, nah, you're getting less unless if you prove yourself that you can keep going. And I think we need to start, even Grundy now. He started this year, he was off his game. I don't know if it's the money or whatever it is. Like, if I were the club, I'd say, mate, it's not worth it. And Grundy's a lovely bloke, like, he really is, but...
Oh, by all reports, I mean, I think there was one time where I got to, there was a few times I got to be around players and stuff, but there was one time, I think it was 2017, it was after the Geelong game, it was the second last round of the year, and, it was, I thought at the time that the VFL were playing after the AFL, so I popped down to make sure to go see the VFL team. But then I come to find out that the VFL team had already played, and I was like absolutely shattered. Yeah, it ended up being a cool story in the end because even though he's not on the list anymore, and he was one of my favourite players at the time. Some people think I'm actually joking that this guy's my favourite player, but I'm really not. Cal Kirby, who unfortunately had a really bad end to his career with the heart issue, but
that's sad for him. That really was.
Yeah, I actually really want to know like how he's doing and stuff, because I really like. I wonder like what's like going on, because the club never spoke about that. That's actually another thing that pissed me off about like Eddie, was that like people were, you know, really concerned about him. Like I know I was, and just the club just never spoke about him. Like even if you look back on, you know, the 2018 injury reports. You know, I don't even think they put him as like season ending, but they just said I think he was like indefinite or something like that.
Yeah. Because I became a member 2018 too. And I think I got a photo with him once down at the club. Like when I went and watched him train. So I think.
Yeah.
I think with that, Tom's saying that he thinks he's playing Swan Hill in that footy league. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. Like that dude was like, he had so much potential. Like it really sucked that he had heart issues. Yeah. No, like I was absolutely shattered. I actually found out because, you know, it's really funny once you realise it's like such a small world. I had one of my best. I'd consider him a really good friend of mine. But I first knew this guy because he was a really good friend of my dad's. He worked for a guy that actually was a player sponsor for Kirby. So he actually got a whole bunch of like information like ahead of time and things that were happening. So and he had other players too.
Yeah.
He had
Danger averted for now.
God, I think he had. I know he had Keith. He had Keith at one point. I want to say he had Josh Thomas, but I can't remember for certainty.
Yeah. Hello
Um,
there. Kevin Smackball School. Yeah, I think from memory it was.
no, I'm saying in terms of the guy that sponsored. Because I know he sponsored Keith, but I want to say he also sponsored Thomas as well, but I don't know exactly for sure because I don't want to be saying yes if it wasn't, because I know they had the drug scandal and stuff, and I know that was a bit sort of awkward for them, and they weren't, too happy hearing about all that stuff. I mean, but, if they would, to be fair. And, yeah, so when Kirby got delisted, basically, I knew that they're halfway through the season. And I've still even got the picture with him, like, on my Facebook, because easy and not wanting to change the picture, but I was absolutely shattered when he left. Or sorry, when he
Yeah.
got delisted, because I've never seen like a kid just. Well, I mean, I had seen him. He played similar to what Byron Higgins and players like that, but
Yeah, pretty much.
he was just such good value for England and stuff.
Essendon
He was going
Essendon offered him 1.3 million a year and he refused. Judd says good trades, but Marmacho like 100% to Sunch tend to agree. Tom says here, I sometimes regret not taking 2 first rounders for Grundy. Yeah, that could be a potential as well.
I mean, you get 2 first rounds for Grundy now, just considering the contract.
To end his wonderful career at the end of this
I
season.
don't know. That's interesting because I think
Being very close
I reckon you watch. I reckon the fact that because we got McRae now, I reckon people are gonna eat those words. Not to obviously be aggressive in that, but like I think that Grundy's gonna prove a lot of people wrong.
Oh shit, yeah.
Well, I think the visitors will
And
get everybody behind the ball and try and spring attacks from that position.
I mean, it's very hard to look at his contract and say this guy's gonna bring in value because it's just. At the very least, he's going to break even, and if he breaks even, that's a win in my book. We just got to put it to just who does it? Was it Net Guy that was doing the contracts, or was it like Gareth Hine, or do you know who was doing that?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did, Judd. Yeah, I think so. If that's why my mate's trying to play a trick on me, I'll have a look.
Could also be Grays as well. Grays has been doing that lately.
I hope he's not, because I've already spoken to him about that. Seems like they deleted their comments.
Oh, okay.
So it's not on here. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely not here. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a photo and just send it to my mates. Not gross? Sweet. No, I just want to make sure. I think it could be one of my mates or it could be Bella with another account. Because I know how much she loves having so many YouTube accounts. Maybe next time I'll just I'm not too sure, Tom. It could be one of my mates who's trying to make accounts, or it could be Bella.
Yeah, we can't be making accusations if, you know, or too many hard accusations if we don't know who it is. We're only probably guessing at this point.
Yeah.
They could nudge in front. Keeper's contribution, but what? And it is the opening goal of the contest.
Well, it was always going to be a tight game, but now all of a sudden one team ahead. Things have got to change on both sides. Well, here's the replay. Comes off the keeper.
Yeah, there's been also a few people that have been making troll accounts too, so could be one of them.
So the match has restarted. 1-0.
Well, Truthfully's live
I
stream
think-
was good on Saturday, so it wasn't that bad. Didn't have many.
Okay.
We only had like one person spamming, so I told him not to spam being as a mod.
A very effective
Yeah.
clearance. And scope for them to produce something exciting. They've got it now, what can they do? Giving it a try. It wasn't far away from the target, Lee.
No, it was decent. Really, really decent chance for the lad. They'll keep pushing away to try and get that equaliser.
Now, tomorrow morning I've got to go to doctors, so I won't be, and I've got to go and pick up my glasses too at 12:30. So I might have to go to bed a little bit early tonight.
With that, the attack fizzles out. Burn. Collins.
Oh, you poor thing. Oh, Tom's got work tomorrow.
Good idea, that particular move, but not to be.
No, I'm lucky in that sense because I really love what I do. Pretty good.
Why do I have to go to the doctor, Judd? Because of my foot swollen.
It's there for him.
And the doctor wants to check up on me, make sure I'm okay. Because this bloody lockdown's a pain in the ass.
Cross fired over. A punch-happy goalkeeper. You've got to keep the ball a bit better than that.
Oh, sweet Tom.
Yeah, I'm getting my second vaccine in, when is it? 5th of October, I think.
I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow night. I'll have to wait and see. Because I've got work as well.
He continues to make hay.
I might just do a couple of premieres or something tomorrow, if I got the chance. So I did
Is there any age limit when it comes to getting the vaccine?
I
'Cause
think
I know
it's,
they have like age limits to certain like
I think
results.
it's 12 or 13 plus. It's a 16
Okay,
plus.
so there is an age limit.
Deep like
Yeah.
this might be a dangerous game. Bennett. It has to be. Simple save for the keeper.
Well, he had to pick the
For which one? Oh, the lockdown, you mean?
Good save.
For the vaccines, like who can get a vaccine?
I think it's... Yeah, I got mine early,
Given
so
away.
I was very lucky. Oh, they haven't brought it under 12 yet. Yeah, I know, it's just 12 on. I'm pretty sure.
An incisive pass. He had a bit of work to do in getting to that through ball, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, there's a lot... Yo, what's up? I think...
Collins. Well, they would have been in a decent position there, but offside.
Oh, what a wasted opportunity that is.
They have elected
Yeah, I
to
think that's what they might bring in next year.
And the referee has added on 2 minutes of stoppage time. Can he finish this? Well, the post getting in the way there. That is that for the first half here. Well, you might say he'll be happy with some aspects of his performance so far, but not every aspect, Lee.
Well, he'd be happy with the half-time scoreline. He's not on the score sheet himself. He came close a couple of times, hit the woodwork. Can we see a little bit better from him in the second half?
Yeah, I'd imagine so, Tom. They'll probably want us to be fully vaccinated before we go into a stadium. Yeah, I shouldn't have any issues because, as I mentioned before, I'll get my second one on the 5th of October. That's about a week and a half.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, he was being very closely marked, but the header not on the target.
No, just off target, and the thing is, the defender did his job.
Can he give them the lead? And he'll be disappointed to have smashed it against the woodwork from close range.
Yeah.
Well, he's out
I want to just
It should be a goal.
be off for a couple seconds.
That's all good,
I'll be
man.
back in about 2. I'll be back in about 2 minutes if that.
Alright, sweet. Oh, do you know? Oh, someone's playing.
really tense battle so far, and now the second half is underway. Well, they keep working away, looking for
I don't know,
passing
bro. It's not one of my friends.
Collins.
Alright, I'm back.
Dangerous looking
Alright,
attack.
sweet. Yeah, I asked my mates, said it wasn't him.
And very deftly cut
Alright,
out.
all good.
He must finish. And the goalkeeper covered a lot of ground.
Has there been any players we haven't spoken about?
Well, he's
I
given
feel like we haven't spoken about like Tyler Brown or
Yeah,
even
so
Cal Brown for that matter.
Tyler, he's
ball played in.
hasn't had much of an opportunity this year, I don't think.
When it comes to hitting it on the volley, Lee.
I feel like he hasn't.
Well, he had the shoulder surgery as well. That
Yeah.
didn't help him in terms of his like because yeah, I personally he's one of those guys where he's in the mix to take main girl,
Get to the ball.
just that defensive mid, because he does have a bit of speed to him. Yeah, I was seeing him, be similar to like a Chris Main, Hoskin Elliott
Pretty much.
type of player.
I think Cal's more as an inside mid than an outside
Yeah,
mid.
Cal should be going after Taylor Adams' spot, and yeah, I think Brown's probably going after Hoskin Elliott's spot. So it's
The
just a
Brown
matter of
brothers
who,
get so much hate. Yeah. Oh no, have you noticed that the
especially
hate?
Tyler, especially like Cal, you can, because Cal's
Okay,
been around long enough, and even though he's had bad years, but Cal's at a point where he should be somewhere at this point. And personally, I think Cal is a very good player. Don't get me wrong. But my only gripe with Cal is that he's been put in too many scenarios, like in the fourth quarter where he'll just miss. Like so he'll have set shots in front of goal and he'll just miss.
yeah.
Um,
That's my issue with him.
and but that's like such a like I feel like you can fix that pretty quickly. But then in saying that too, like the I keep trying to remind myself is that Cal's not really a forward and shouldn't be treated as a forward. And I think that's probably got to do with more Buckley's thing than anything.
I hated
the
when he
Buckley
did
shit.
that. That fucking pissed me off. I don't know, Judd. I don't know who's doing it. Like, he plays out of position.
Wait, why is there a Kev's Magpies that's modded saying, "Oh, you're a fake"?
I don't know.
Because that's clear, like it's
Gross.
modded, so it's we know it. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's either I'm thinking of two people at the moment, but yeah. Now, I think when it comes to Tyler, Tyler's too young to have an opinion on him. He's only he's only his third year, and he hasn't built into his body yet. Yeah, I feel like Tyler's the more unwarranted gets the more unwarranted hate. Where even though I think Brown still gets unwarranted hate, but it's not as much as what I feel Tyler. Not that I think Tyler gets more, but it's more.
Oh. What? I'm a fake? Fuck off.
Yeah, well, it's obviously a mod, so it'll be out of one of the mods.
Graz. Whoever's doing this, please stop. Otherwise, I'm just gonna unmod ya.
And it's very clear, like, it's only have two people, and I'm sure, Kev, you'll know who those two people are. So...
Succeeds in clearing it.
Yeah.
From the wide position.
Not that I want to be naming names, but... I'll say this, it's pretty clear it's either one of two people.
Well, it's not Cardi, it's not Sammy or OG Bomber. I don't think. It's either
Yeah, I don't want to say the name, like their names, but they know who they are.
Problem is, Tommy, if I block them, they can still see my stuff. Oh,
Yeah, in
grass
fact,
is...
actually, I might time it out. But no, I can't time it out. So, you know what? I'm actually could go to the Cavs Magpies, unmod him, and then whoever we know is mod, if their name shows up and they're not a mod, we'll know who it is.
Because it's disappeared on my end.
What do you mean it's disappeared?
Well, I'm looking now on my phone.
Yeah, if you scroll up, it should say Kev's Magpies.
I might be further back.
Yeah, it's not in the main. It's like 2 messages above the main bit. So if you so if you go to the Kev's Magpies one, take away the mod, whoever messages that we normally have as mod will know who it is.
I think they might have deleted their messages, so I can't really see it.
No, it's still there. I can only report or block it, so I can't put them in timeout or anything like that.
Well, report it for spamming because seriously, man, I've scrolled up. Do you want me to send you what on my end? Because it comes up on my PlayStation.
Yeah, just next time it happens, just make sure to unmod that person. And if that person is
I'll send it to you on. I'll send it to you on Insta. Should work. Yep. Because it comes up on my thing as well. Yo, someone's really deleted Judd's message. Unless he might have retracted. Someone's playing games.
Yeah, no, he retracted, so that means he deleted the messages himself.
I just hope no one's not gonna cause trouble for me.
Fantastic piece of defending, was it? They've regained possession.
Well, I mean, you're all good from my end. There was nothing that you've done to raise any suspicions, so. And I mean, well, why would you send a message to yourself, like?
Yeah, well, that's it.
Actually, Judd, the person that sent the message was a mod, so it's out of one of the mods that did it.
Graz, was that you?
It has to be. Oh, that's an awful finish, and the goal. A complete miscue by the goalkeeper. Will there be a price to pay? Getting forward. The pressure was high, and they could be in here.
Fox Footy just had an article saying they reckon Lipinski will go for a late second. Oh boy. Nope. They're gonna cop a future third and they're gonna love it.
I believe you, Judd, it's not you. I was asking Graz.
Very real, marvellous defending.
No, I believe you, Tom.
And he's through. And the ball is in.
Nah, Tom, you're all good.
Yeah, you're all
You're
good,
not in the
man.
mix.
So what a finish that is. Well, here it is again, Derek. The weight of the pass is excellent, and the finish.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, when it comes to these things, we don't mind people having fun, but there's a limit to, you know, what you can do and say and spam and all that stuff. So just make sure to be mindful that, you know, it's okay for you to have a good time, but just make sure you're not ruining that fun for others as well. The whole point of this is for everyone to enjoy themselves and have fun.
And for people to like my content as well. And
So
obviously
if they enjoy
try and
themselves,
grow.
they're gonna like it anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah, tend to agree about Tom on that too. Because I know Cardi
I don't think
doesn't.
Bella spams though, does she? Does Bella spam?
She can when she repeats the same message.
So she just like straight up copies and paste it.
Yeah, well, Grass has said it's not him. Because I'm not. No, thanks, man, for being honest with me, Graz. I'd rather you tell me. Like, I'm not gonna be mad at you, man. I just wanted to find out. But I'm glad you said it wasn't you. Yeah, because Bella, she tends to bloody. Oh, what's the word? Everything I subscribe to, she subscribes to. If that makes sense, like.
She's like trying to like copy your things.
Pretty much, yeah. That's. No, I haven't. Unfortunately, Tom.
Just a couple of questions for you.
Who's just Sarah?
Oh, she was on the Collingwood pages. I'm not gonna say in front of the whole world what happened, but yeah, it's something.
There's something not good.
Yeah, well, haven't heard from her in a while, and we wanted to make sure that she was okay. But I'm not gonna go into full details on why.
It's got no relation to Adam Chera, is it?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, hope she's doing well then.
What I might do is mod Bella and see if it is her.
Thanks, well played. That's all the questions.
Let's see how many subscribers I got at a time. I'm on 126. Alright. Remove mod. Yeah.
Ignore which part, Chad.
Oh, about the
um,
fake account thing. about the account with my
Yeah,
name.
because I didn't know if he was talking about the, what was her name?
Because Tom said, so I wasn't caught up.
Yeah, I don't know if they're talking about Jess or if they're talking
I
about...
think that, yeah, because Tom said it could be Graz or Bella. Graz said it wasn't him. So I'm just trying to look up on here and see if there's any accounts. Doesn't look like it, so someone's obviously changed the name. Alright, well I'm gonna be playing, I'll end the stream. Thank you for watching, guys. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play another game as well. I'll definitely get it up as much as possible as well.
So what, so we're still streaming, we're just doing it, we're just cutting the video and making another one?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. So I'm gonna
Okay.
I was gonna play NBA 2K20, but what I'm gonna
Yep.
do first is, because obviously I have got to end the stream, and then
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll keep you on here as well. That way I can talk to you more about it.
Alright, all good.
But I'll just save this first, and then I'll set up for another game as well, because obviously I gotta get up in the morning. But yeah, I'll definitely stream. Just be patient, guys, as well. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, alright. See you guys.